sitting atop the NFC North and remain the only unbeaten team in the NFL with wins against the Titans, Packers, Panthers, Giants, and yesterday, the Texans. Now, keep in mind, this is a team without their starting quarterback and running back, but that hasn't slowed down Minnesota. Sam Bradford produced another turnover-free effort, and the Vikings defense flustered Brock Osweiler in Houston on their way to a 31-13 victory. Stephen A., are the Vikes the best team in the National Football League?
No, they are not. And I don't care that their record says they are. I understand that Bill Parcells coined that phrase, you are what your record says you are, but not always. And I think this is one of those cases where not always applies. I don't care that they are 5-0. I don't care that they are undefeated. I don't care that they won yet another game and that their defense is so elite. When you have the 30th ranked offense in yards, when you have the absolute worst rushing attack in football, when you're 23rd in the pass, okay, and you don't have Adrian Peterson and you didn't have Stephon Diggs, you are telling me you have an elite defense, and we know that an elite defense can carry you very far, which is why my man Max Kellerman is telling us that the Denver Broncos are the best team in the AFC, even though he's raving about Bill Belichick at the same time. He's telling us that the Denver Broncos are the best team in the AFC. It does not matter. At the end of the day, here's how I look at it. I have to sit up there. I have to look ahead. We have to be forward thinkers, Ryan Clark. We have to be forward thinkers. It can't be just about now.
Okay.
We have to look ahead. And we have to sit there and say, if Sam Bradford is still there, what they going to do? And I'm one of those guys who believes not much. This stuff is a misnomer. I'm not decrying, I'm not disputing anything that he has done since he's been in the Minnesota Vikings uniform. Okay. I am challenging his ability to continue to do it. And before I go to you, Max Kellerman, because I see how you recline back, leaning to get at me, it's fine. Let's just analyze this. Tennessee Titans, they all right. You ain't nothing special, but they all right, okay? So you got the victory there, get to open the season. We all know that the bad man that is Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers have not resembled what we have known them to be as of yet, all year. Then we got Carolina. We know that's chaos up in there. Things just ain't right there. Okay, I ain't talking about Cam Newton's concussion because Minnesota has something to do with that. I'm saying that overall, they just don't look like themselves. Their secondary issues shouldn't have let go of Josh Norman. Then we got the New York Giants. Do you really want me to get started on your New York Giants? I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that to us, okay? And then, of course, the Houston Texans got Brock Osweiler. Stop. Brock Osweiler against that defense? I'm sorry, well, you want a cookie? You expect me to be touched because Brock Osweiler, couldn't do anything against the Minnesota Vikings? He can't do much against too many people, okay? So all these things considered, I'm just looking at the schedule. On the road to Philadelphia and Chicago over the next 2 weeks. Add Washington, that's 3 of the next 4 weeks, okay? The schedule ain't that tough, to believe it or not. So Minnesota, really, if you really look at them, Detroit, Dallas, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, with their no defense playing selves, Minnesota's going to be formidable. But you talk about Super Bowl, best team in the NFL, nah, they ain't getting that from me. Not me, not yet.
Bradford has an injury history which suggests he may not be healthy by the time the playoffs roll around. And if that's, in fact, the case, and they lose another quarterback...
I'm giving to you that I expect them to be healthy. I'm saying this about his game.
If Bradford is healthy, they're absolutely Super Bowl contenders. At this moment, they're the best team in the NFL. Now, one of the problems early in the season with talking about a team's strength of schedule, as you just did, is you can start to get a sense of it, but if you got a really good record, if you're undefeated, that means all the teams you faced early in the season have a game that went against them. Instead of winning it, they lost it. So how does that affect things? Well, if the Giants are 3-2 right now, you think of them very differently than if they're 2-3, which they are. So strength of schedule is frequently held against really good teams to start the season. Well, we thought the Packers were good. You look at their record, it's not that good. Yeah, but partly that's because they played the Minnesota Vikings. Part of Carolina's problems is they played the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are really good, and that's without not only yesterday their starting quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, running back in Adrian Peterson, but also their best receiver in Diggs, and they're still rolling. The question here is, much like I give Bill Belichick credit for the Patriots, more than anyone else, including Brady, by far, you got to look at what Mike Zimmer did here. He takes over a team for Leslie Frazier a couple years ago that had gone 5-10-1. In his first season, now he's got his hands on the thing, they're 7-9. But you got to give a coach a year to get things under control. And right away, they're respectable. A game changes and they're 500. The following year, last year, they're 11-5. This year, they're 5-0. That's not a mirage. That's a trend from a guy who's making a case that he's an elite head coach from a very bad team to a dominant team. Are you kidding me? In the last season and a third or whatever it's been, and a quarter, he's 16-5 and throttling teams, even when they're not high-scoring games, because the Minnesota offense is not explosive.
I've seen elite defenses do this before.
The other team never really has a chance.
I've seen elite defenses do this before.
Well, you know what, guys? This has been so much fun. I just love coming on this show. But only one of us, right, was actually on the cover of ESPN, the magazine. And why was I? Because we had one of the best defenses statistically in like the last, now, 35 years. And we were and a very handsome guy right in the front, kneeling in front of some very bad dudes. This
Probably
defense,
with a bad tie on.
This defense had on my jersey.
Oh, okay.
You don't know about those.
There you go.
This defense may be better than that one. And that offense wasn't great. We had a really, really good quarterback who's a future Hall of Famer. We had a punter who was punting the ball like 15 yards. I think it kept our yardage down. This Minnesota defense is that good. And I'm ashamed of you. As much as you come at me for stuff, I'm ashamed of you. I sit here and watch you defend Floyd Mayweather when people talk about the opponents he had wasn't good. You sound just like those people. Oh, all of a sudden, the Packers aren't good. All of a sudden, we know with this total chaos with the Panthers, ooh, the Titans, they're terrible.
Yeah,
oh, my goodness, Brock Osweiler. Hey, listen, it doesn't matter who you put in front of people, right? Because just like whoever they put in front of Floyd, they're professional boxers. These are professional football players that get paid a lot of money. And what happens when they play the Minnesota? What happens when they play the Minnesota Vikings? Right. They look bad. DeAndre Hopkins, can he play?
Big time.
Can he play?
Yeah.
Will Fuller, people have been raving about what a great rookie he is. Halftime of the game, you're watching, they put them both up. Put up the stats. 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns. Not because they can't play, but because the Minnesota Vikings are that good.
We were wondering if Odell Beckham had a psychological problem after playing these guys. I mean, like, this is how good the defense is.
They're that good. And when you're that good, and listen, Sam Bradford, and though the numbers don't wow you, but he's not turning it over, and he's making plays with a guy named Thielen, who's an undrafted free agent.
But I'm making the contention that I don't believe that will last with Sam Bradford. I in no way question the greatness of the Minnesota Vikings defense. I'm saying I've seen great defenses before who have come up short because the offense couldn't close the deal for them. If you're going to tell me that a team is the best in the NFL, you have to show me that somebody can cover for them on one side of the ball, or the other side of the ball is so elite that it don't matter what anybody else does. Like, I'm looking at a Sam Bradford, and the key thing here is that he's not committing any turnovers. Do we anticipate that will continue? That's my issue. Now, if the guy was sitting up there and turning the football over, but somehow, some way, Minnesota was still winning, okay, then you would have me there, because I'm saying, damn, despite anything, this is what they're doing. But it can't be more perfect.
This is an issue
in terms of what's happening with their offense.
You brought up boxing, you brought up Mayweather, and you're saying, talking about this is the issue in sports. And this happens when the Patriots play the greatest show on turf, and this happens when Evander Holyfield fights Mike Tyson. Great offense is easy for everyone to understand because the margin of victory against mediocrity is enormous, right? Mediocrity has nothing to stave off a great offense. They get crushed. But a great defense or a great well-rounded team or fighter, like a Holyfield, or like a Patriots team that beat the greatest show on turf, needs another great team to show, or fighter to show you what they can really do. Because otherwise, they're going to win by a field goal. They're going to win by a touchdown. They'll win by 10 points. They're not going to knock anybody out. The Vikings ain't knocking people out in terms of the score. They're just winning. And we will see as time goes on this year, I anticipate no matter who they play, the Vikings will look very good. It doesn't mean they're going to go undefeated, right, but they will notch very high-quality wins before the end of this regular season. And if they are this team going into the playoffs, they can easily win a Super Bowl. At this moment, they're the best team in football.
You also have to remember, Stephen A., you got to win 2 phases of the game. 2. There's offense, there's defense, there's special teams. This team is winning 2 of those every game. They're returning balls for touchdowns. They're creating turnovers, putting pressure. Offensively, you just have to hold the fort. And they're doing more than that now. This team will be tough to beat the rest of the season with that formula.
I think we watched the Carolina Panthers team, whose defense was elite last year, whose offense did more than hold the fort. Now, they did run into Denver, who had an elite defense, okay? But you also had a guy in Peyton Manning who, despite the clear, flagrantly diminished skill set, still had the mindset to conduct himself in such a fashion that you could rely on him being that ultimate game manager. And I'm saying...
Did you see that ball he threw to Coney Ealy?
I understand that, but I'm saying to you, you have to look at a guy like Sam Bradford and say to yourself, can I trust him? See, to me, that's what it comes down to. When I'm poo-pooing Minnesota because you're asking me to trust Sam Bradford.
Jim Plunkett.
Not yet.
First Take is brought to you by the new grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza, only at Pizza Hut.
Hello. We asked you guys earlier in the show, did Romo lose the Cowboys starting job on Saturday? You voted. The Twitter results are in. Merrill, 66% say yes.
Well, I'd say 100% yes. The Cowboys keep playing like this. You don't touch chemistry. You don't touch rhythm. You don't touch a seasoned team.
Hey,
period.
But there it is.
Hey, I need you to look at him.
Oh, I heard him.
We're here for you. We're trying to be here for you. We're trying to be here for you, man.
How do you lose the job on Sunday? If next Sunday against the Packers you lose...
But the second you can't play, you've lost your job.
Well, I mean, then you could say that for any injured quarterback.
Well, then we're talking about this one.
Well, this one, let me be very clear. You can't lose your job on a Sunday if the 2 of the next 3 Sundays, because they have a bye, actually determines the job. You lose the next 2 games, it goes right back to Romo, and he's not healthy right now.
I figured it all out. You're lying. You're a Cowboys fan.
Oh.
You're a Tony Romo fan. Maybe not a Cowboy, but you're a Tony Romo fan.
am not.
You have deceived me. You are.
Do you realize in the old
Tony
days,
Romo. That's what you do.
In the old
you
days,
love Tony Romo.
In the old days, we would have to fight a duel.
And you'd lose. Because let me tell you
would have
something.
to have a duel at 10 paces.
Actually, with all the martial arts stuff you do, I don't know. Let me take that back there. But what I'm saying to you, Max Kellerman, is this. You are a Tony, because there's really no excuse for your position. There's no excuse. Tony Romo. Did you see Tony Romo yesterday? Did you see him? I told him at the beginning of the show, the only thing that was missing was the palm trees and the sunshine. Did you see how he was reclined back? And I don't know if it was a fan blowing it. If he had some of that head, looking like...
It did look like he was on vacation.
Let me tell you something. He was chilling. I mean, if he had longer hair, I would have thought it was the second coming of Fabio. I mean, it was that ridiculous. It was that ridiculous. I mean, he was reclined back,
Actually, you know what's funny what I saw?
What?
I saw a guy who was stressed because he saw his job going away.
You saw
Really?
that? I didn't see that. You know what I saw? I saw a guy very comfortable, Merrill.
I would know. I would understand his role. You see a guy playing to that level.
That's right.
You're like, oh my gosh. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what.
I understand it. But
what happens when you
but
lose.
check this out. But I would agree with you if he didn't have his money. But the money, the beautiful wife and family, Texas, no state income taxes is very important, very, very important, okay? So we got all of that going on. No state income tax. And by the way, it's Texas, it's Nashville, it's Washington.
Florida, you can live in Florida.
Delaware, Florida. Oh, I know the state. Trust me, I know the state. I got my eyes on the prize. I'm trying to tell you, Merrill, the bottom line is he got his money.
But then why don't you live in one of those states?
He got the love.
New York or LA right here.
He got the love. Jerry Jones, I mean, he's chilling. I disagree with you there, Merrill.
Let me ask you something, Merrill. Let's say Dak has played very well. Everything's clicking. Let's say they lose at Green Bay, a distinct possibility, and then they lose to a pretty good Eagles team at home. They have a bye, then they lose to the Eagles team at home, and now Tony Romo is healthy. I mean, that's not a very unlikely scenario. That could easily happen. Yep. What happens? Does Romo get the job back?
Once we get there, if that were to happen, then as a coach, I got to take the temperament of my team, the temperature of it, and I get a feel.
Well, if that's the case, then he hasn't won the job on Sunday.
I believe in you.
Because Romo's not available right now.
Don't you argue with him and you watch your tone talking to Merrill Hodge. You watch your tone. You watch your tone.
We only win on Sunday to play the next Sunday. We take it one Sunday at a time. He has won the job. We move on with that.
I only got one thing to say. I'll deal with you on Monday Night Football at halftime. We'll discuss. I'm going to have to deal with it. Hey, I'm here. The wisdom. Give it up, baby. Give it up. The wisdom. You watch your tone when you talking to the great Merrill Hyde, who agreed with me and opposed to
Merrill,
you.
just
Smile, Molly.
getting started.
You
NFL
smile.
prime
You looking
time.
at that camera. You
No,
tell them to look at us.
I'm just
There you
enjoying
go.
it.
There we go.
Who's better than me? Get to hang with you three, right?
right.
We'll see you all tomorrow.
I'll
Enjoy
get to
the
hang with
game.
you.
Come on now.